Good morning, children. How are you all? Children, let's just continue with our chapter. We were reading, what was it? The plants. And we have read about the different parts of the plants. Then we saw the different types of roots. So today we are going to see what are the functions of a root. So let us get started. Yes, the part of the plant which lies under the ground are called as roots, right? Let us see their functions one by one. As we all are very much aware that root is an important part of a plant, right? Why? Because it helps the plant to stand straight above the ground, right? It binds the soil, it holds the soil in such a tight way as if it's a grip, and that plant grows above the ground. Roots also helps us to absorb water and minerals from the soil. Whenever we pour some water to the, we water to the plant, correct? Yes. What do we give? Do we give food to the plant? No. Plant make their own food, correct? Now, whenever, what do we give? We give water. And what else does a plant require? It requires sunlight. So where do we put the water? Do we give it to the leaf directly? No. We pour it to the ground where the plant is being planted. Correct? So whenever we pour the water, which part of the plant is present below the ground? It is the root. So roots absorb the water and the minerals from the soil. So the water which we give and the minerals which are present in the soil for the growth of the plant is absorbed by the root. So now we got to know the second function. So first function was root helps to fix the plant in the ground. It helps to absorb water and minerals from the soil, right? And it holds the plant upright in the soil. The way the plant grows up on the ground, when we see a plant growing upward on the ground, right? The same way the root also starts growing under the ground. It also increases its size and the length. It goes deep inside the search of water and the minerals. So what is the another function of this root? It holds the plants upright in the soil. See, the way the roots get spreaded inside the soil, that much strong the plant becomes and it stands up straight. Thus, absorption. Absorption of what? Absorption of water and minerals. And secondly, fixations are the two main functions of the root. You can see here in the picture, right? See how the load is getting distributed. One big trunk or the stem, below it is having so many roots. So the way it spreads, the top trees can stand straight. Thus, absorption and fixation are the two main functions of a root. In some plants, root perform a few different special functions. Yes, roots have other functions apart from fixation of the plant and absorption of water and mineral. Let us see what are the special functions. Plants like radish, carrot, beetroot, they have thick root which stores food for the plant. So these plants like radish, carrot, beetroot, okay, garlic, onion, turnip, all these are the root of the plant. They are the roots, right? They are the roots, and these roots are eaten by man and animal, correct? So they store the food part of the plant in the roots. There are many plants which store fruits or food either in the branches, in the leaf, and everywhere. But in these plants, the food is stored in the root part of the plants, right? We all have been eating radish, carrot, beetroot, garlic, onion, turnip in our day-to-day life, ginger, potatoes. Though potato is not a root, but these grow below the ground. Children, These are some of the roots which are eaten by the man and the animals. And these roots are called as edible roots. What do you mean by the word edible? Edible means the thing which is eatable. Whatever we are able to eat is called edible. So these are the edible roots. In some plants, roots provide extra support to the plant. Yes, in some plants, the roots, they are the one who gives extra support. Yes, right. Well, we saw in the starting slide only saying that for the plants to stand straight, roots, they spread across in the ground nicely so that the plants stand. Some plants which are not able to stand on only the roots which are below the grounds or which are heavier in sizes, the plants, they have, for them, the roots provide extra support. One such plant is banyan tree. Can you see on the picture? You can see apart from the trunk and the branches, you can see some roots are growing downwards. From the branches, the roots are going towards the ground level. The branches of the banyan tree get extra support with the help of special roots that grow downwards from the branches. You can see so many roots. So banyan tree is a huge tree which spreads across large area. To support such plant, these roots, they grow from the branch and go under the ground. Okay, and they give extra support for this plant to stand straight on the ground, children. Similarly, some plants like maize, the corn plant, have thin and long stem. They grow to a height, okay? They have thin stem and which are longer, which require extra support to them to stand erect. To stand straight, they need some extra support. So for such plants, roots arise from the base. In the sense, roots start immediately from the base of the stem. That helps to support the plant. Can you see here? The corn plant, the base of the corn plant is here, and you can see so many roots have started coming out of the stem only. So some part of the root, this are above the ground only. Yes, like in banyan tree also we saw that the roots are starting from the branch and half of the root is above the ground. Correct? Here also in the corn, you can see here in the picture itself, so many roots have started from the base of the corn plant itself, and then it is going inside the ground. Yes, you can see some part of the plant is in the air itself. These help the corn plant to stand straight. Similarly, the third example over here is in the plants. In mangrove plants, roots do not get sufficient oxygen in the marshy area. Now, what do you mean by marshy area? The area which is wet with mud and water around. You might have traveled to places near the water area. You will be able to see so many plants in and around. So the plants which are near these marshy areas, such like a mangrove plant, for them, the roots, they are above the ground also. Half of the roots are above the ground, half of the roots are below the ground. Now, what is the reason? Because being nearby the water, they do not get sufficient oxygen. Okay, oxygen which is present in the air, they do not get sufficient oxygen. To get the oxygen, to breathe some oxygen in such plants, some breathing roots, the roots which breathe the oxygen, comes out of the soil to get fresh air from the atmosphere. Yes, in some plants, in these plants where you have, which are nearby the marshy areas, the area which is having less mud and more water, there, because they are not able to get much oxygen, children, they grow out in the air. The roots grow out in the air. Why they grow out in the air? Because they want to breathe the oxygen. Yes, such roots you have just now seen in banyan tree, maize crop, mangrove plants. You can see here still in the images, you can see so many roots are above the ground, right? So many roots are above the ground. Why? Because they want to breathe in the oxygen. Plus, they want to support the plant to stand straight. Such roots which are above the ground, which you can see above the ground, are called as aerial roots. What are they called as? They are called as aerial roots. And you know, children, there is a law. Okay, there is a law that if you are cutting a plant or a tree, you are supposed to take government's permission before doing. Otherwise, it is a lawful offense. You might go behind the bars for doing so if somebody complains against you, right? So you are supposed to have proper permission from proper authorities. So this was all about the roots, and I said that the aerial roots come out of the ground to breathe the air from the atmosphere. What is atmosphere? The air which is surrounded around us. You can see, right? Not sorry. You can feel, right? You breathe in the air around us. So the air around us is, or the air around surrounding the earth is called as the atmosphere. So this was all about our chapter plants, and see how many things we have got to know about root. Root is not just a thing which absorbs water and minerals, but it helps the plants to fix in the ground. It allows the plants to breathe the oxygen. Yes, and some roots also store food in it, and that food we also eat it. Correct? Carrot and everything, which are really healthy for our health. So with this, we finish our chapter. I'll come back to you with a new chapter in my next video. Until then, bye bye.